Welcome to Uncanny X-Minutes, where we bring you the comics behind the movies. I'm Sasha.
I'm producer James.
And we're here to talk about Days of Future Past. Is it X-Men?
X-Men.
What is the actual title?
X-Men, Days of Future Past.
Minutes 0 to 10. James, will you tell me what happens?
You're not wrong. This stuff, it can get weird, but I do believe most of the ones that have X-Men have X-Men in the title.
Okay.
For the most part.
So X-Men, Days of Future Past.
Yes.
What happens?
This is what happens. In the not too distant future, the X-Men are attacked by adaptive sentinels. Kitty Pryde sends Bishop's mind back in time for a redo. That's what happens.
Ta-da.
Yeah, so it's a lot of like in the future.
I assume, I'm making a big assumption.
Make a big assumption.
But I'm going to assume that the movie is not setting the not too distant future in 2013 like the comic books did.
It does not.
So first, a big difference.
Oh,
that
man.
was so funny.
So funny that it's now 13 years in the past from where we currently are.
Yeah.
And then whoever listens to this 13 years in the future, no, it's even further.
You know what? We're closer to Days of Future Past than I really imagined we would ever be. So, but yes.
This movie came out in 2014.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I was like, this is probably which I think is kind of fun.
Do you want to hear what year the movie takes place in, according to Wikipedia?
Yes, please.
2023. So we're even past that.
Why didn't they put it so further? Even like
They went 10 years.
Days of Future Past was like in the...
Right, but where do they go back to? They go back to the 70s.
Right.
From 2023. That's a 50-year jump.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And in the 80s to they were only, what, a 20-year jump?
Yeah, it was only a 20-year jump.
Yeah, so it's even a bigger jump than the last one.
I just think it's very weird to put the end point from when the movie's coming out. I think that
I think if you want to look at, I mean, not that they ever care about continuity.
They do not.
They do not. I think the idea was, since the last X-Men 3, they didn't want it to go to crap between that and what like the current year was. So they thought, let's go 10 years in the future because we're going to have to go 50 years back anyway.
And then jump.
Yeah.
I don't think that's
so
the
like,
worst.
I think that was their logic with it.
That makes sense. Anyway,
if you don't know, I mean, we're going to talk about Days of Future Past, the comic book. If you didn't guess, it is one of the most well-known comic book like story arcs.
Very important.
And it is wild. We've said it before. I'm going to say it again. It is wild. It is 2 issues.
Yes. However, I will say that if you go do Marvel Unlimited, they have more than 2 issues. They actually start with Uncanny X-Men 138 and go like 1 issue past Days of Future Past as well in the reading guide, which is really interesting. Do you want me to explain why they do that or why I think they do that? Or should we just summarize what these comic books are about first?
I mean, you could, because it's what, 141, 142?
And then they do up to 143.
But like, proper.
But proper, yes.
Like if somebody was like, oh, go read Days of Future Past, it's 141, 142.
Of Uncanny X-Men, 1963.
Just
so
straight up from 1981.
Yeah.
It is just Uncanny X-Men.
So something that I think is really important is it gives you a lot of context. So in the issue 138, which is where the reading guide kicks off, it's actually the death of Jean Grey and Cyclops leaving the team.
Yeah, because he's like not in these comics.
Yeah. And so I think it's actually really interesting because they give you that reading guide, I think, because if you're jumping in and you're expecting to see the original X-Men team, it gives you a lot of it re-summarizes everything. 138 is a weird summary issue because it's about Cyclops thinking about his entire time on the X-Men, literally going like beat by beat of all these like major villains and the storylines and the outcomes of those storylines, and also sprinkles in a little bit of his discontent with Professor Xavier. And then at the end of the issue, Cyclops leaves the school and the last page is Kitty Pryde showing up. Let me tell you something. If you do not take away anything else except for this, Days of Future Past is about Kitty Pryde.
Oh, 100%.
Point blank, period. This is the Kitty Pryde story. I would argue that Days of Future Past is what made her beloved because she is such a core character here. It sets her up really well, and it's really revolves around her.
I didn't even realize, because like I have read the issue you're talking about.
Yeah.
But like you said, context, everything.
Yeah.
Issue number 141 starts with the future, just like the movie does. Like it starts with the dystopian future where Sentinels are hunting everyone down. That absolutely is the same in both of them. She is the character who is older. She's with Colossus, which, like you've said, they're new. This is not their relationship is not a thing like we've talked about before.
No.
So like she is in a position of being a core member of the X-Men since the 80s. So like someone you just met is all of a sudden a veteran of the team for 20 years.
Yeah.
And they have to go back.
Right.
Crazy.
And it's also, let's be honest, like these are the new X-Men too. Like once Cyclops goes, the only person that's still there is Warren. It's Angel. So like he's relatively recently returned in this series, like before we get to Days of Future Past, but like the lead up to it. So these are all like kind of relatively new X-Men, and these issues that lead up to Days of Future Past spends a lot of time exploring their relationships to each other. You get like tons like of in 139 of just like Kitty Pryde and Storm. You get a lot of Wolverine and Colossus. Like they're just like kind of exploring the relationships between these characters, which I really like. And then you go right into Days of Future Past, which is like both a time skip, but also will be a reality, like a timeline switch. But I think it's really cool. And I actually really enjoyed the reading guide for that because I'd never read it that way.
Right.
At least not where I was thinking about those issues as being part of the lead up to Days of Future Past.
No, it's always just here's 141.
Yeah.
Just go in.
Even though I've read them all, but like reading it like that as a cohesive story, I think was like really cool, and I think I agree. Now, I don't necessarily agree maybe with the last issue at the end of it is like a Christmas where Kitty Pryde is like, she defeats a monster on her own using everything that she's learned. And it's like, it's kind of a growth wrap up like issue. Once again, putting the bow and like an exclamation point that this whole thing about Days of Future Past is about Kitty Pryde. But like, you don't need to read that one.
Sure. The movie and the comic book at this point aren't too dissimilar.
No,
I would say. Sentinels have taken over. They've killed, in the comic books, they've killed all, like most mutants they can find. They've either not depowered, put like a restraining collar on them so that they're depowered, which might be the first depowered situation. Like in that sort of way of like a depowered collar.
A collar.
We've
watched all these movies and I'm just narrowing my eyes. So I'm like, I don't remember.
Well, we had the Cure episode where we talked about a bunch, and I think this may be one of the first times where it's like there. I mean, heck, there might be a throwaway something in the Silver Age. You know what I mean? But doesn't matter. This is a main one.
Yeah.
But they've also killed superheroes.
Yes.
It's basically the Sentinels are an AI that have overrun. And they're like, the only way to protect humans is to take out all the superhumans.
Yeah.
And so it's like we came after the mutants, and then after that we came after the superheroes.
What's also really interesting is in these two issues, they label anybody who has any sort of like latent X gene as a mutate.
Yeah.
And also part of the like quote unquote problem as far as the Sentinels see it. So when we talk about like Fantastic Four, which we will in a second, like Sue Storm qualifies as like, she did not get, all the superheroes did not get like full human status. There's like three, there's like human, mutate, and mutant, which is actually a little bit different than how mutate is used later.
Mutate's been used in a few different ways. Yeah.
But here what they're talking about is anybody who could potentially birth a mutant. So people who have latent X genes, which I think is really interesting for the story and is kind of makes sense. But yeah, all the superhumans like die.
Yeah.
Like,
so it's just a narrative way to be like, the Avengers aren't coming.
Nobody's coming.
Fantastic Four's not coming.
Yeah.
So what happens in the movie, it's like this rogue group of X-Men that, I guess not rogue group, but like this core group of X-Men who are all who are mostly people we haven't seen yet, which is, for me and Stasia, I'm sure, when we both were in the theaters, was super exciting because we got, I'm going to just go through the characters that we get that aren't in any X-Men movie up to this point. Warpath.
Yeah.
Blink. Sunspot. And Bishop.
Yeah.
Are the four that, like, the new guys that, I'll be honest, I was excited for every single one of them.
Yeah. Especially Bishop.
So exciting to see them all, especially Bishop and Blink. I'm a big fan of Blink.
I love Blink too.
Here's the thing. Blink is Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Not Days of Future Past, but it's okay. I'm actually fine with it. We've messed with the timeline enough.
I'll take what I can get.
Give me a cool X-Man with a cool power. And Blink's is great. She just throws teleportation daggers. Mm-hmm. It's awesome. Anyway, in the movie, the plan is they're holed up in a spot, and when the Sentinels, they know the Sentinels are always looking for them, and when they find them, they have Bishop, and I guess maybe it's not always Bishop, but it's Bishop in the example we see. Bishop and Kitty run to a safe room where Kitty phases the person's mind back in time. To their body a day before, and then they get out of Dodge, and they were never there is what ends up happening. So the Sentinels never find them. Fun for a movie. Yeah. It is not what happens in these books. These books are pure dystopian. We're only using this power for this one way, this one plan, and it's the Hail Mary that we have.
Yeah, and I think it makes it more. It increases the tension, I think, in the books because they've thrown everything into and just fast forward, spoiler alert, Magneto dies just for the one opportunity to have to trigger this one time.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the plan. Yeah. The other X-Men don't seem to have a plan.
Yeah.
The plan is running, which honestly, you got to do what you got to do. So in the comic books, the big difference is what we've been saying, is that there is one plan. So it is Kate Pride, not Kitty, because she's an adult. Mm-hmm. And we almost got that in Krakoa. She started going by Kate Pride, and I was like, is this the time where she's... No, we're back to Kitty. Don't worry about it. There's Old Man Wolverine. He's got the white streaks in his hair, Colossus is there, and he's with Kitty. Storm's there.
Magnus
is there.
Magneto, but he goes by Magnus a lot, too.
And the big one is a red-headed telekinetic telepathic.
Yeah.
That just goes by Rachel.
Yes.
And that is it. And it gets important later.
Much later.
For now, it's a familiar redhead who is psychic. Wink, wink. Something could be happening. They basically find a way to nullify their collars so that she can send her consciousness to her younger self through time. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why that one makes more sense to me than Kitty's power.
It makes way more sense because Rachel is... Well, you don't know it now, I guess. Yeah. But in the future, it makes more sense to me. But you know what? I shouldn't retcon it because you're right.
Retconning it.
I am.
I even think that sending someone's consciousness to their younger body for some reason makes more sense than phasing.
She has Phoenix powers, so
yeah, I know that.
Sorry, I'm wait, no, this does make sense.
No, it's fine. No, but it's fine. We don't know we don't know anything about her. I think that's part of the mystery works.
It does
in that way.
Yeah.
So Kitty is now in her just showed up 14-year-old self.
13 and a half.
13 and a half. I'm sorry. And even when they do it, they even have panels where she's just Kitty.
Yeah.
And then she gets hit with this consciousness that all of a sudden she's an adult.
Yeah.
And now it is regular X-Men story, which honestly, I kind of love that if you were reading in continuity and all of a sudden you get disrupted with this future story and you're like, wow, look at how bad things got. And it comes back and goes, we need to fix it because this is when it happens.
Yeah.
I love times travel in that way. Somebody comes and was we have a problem, we need to fix it. Otherwise, the future is going to be gonzo.
Yeah.
Because usually that's a Bishop or a Cable thing. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of fun for it to be Kitty.
Yes.
And it to be within the continuity. Because with the 2000 movies happened. That all happened.
Yeah.
And now they went back. And spoilers for this movie that y'all have seen before. But when this movie ends... It branches the timeline.
It does.
It doesn't fix it. It like changes what happens in the later movies, which is like kind of frustrating.
Yes.
Where it wasn't like, oh, this happened after, X-Men 3. This happens after what's the second, or First Class.
First Class.
This is the second movie they decided to use the young cast for, which is wild. Like a wild decision for continuity's sake, I would say.
Once again, we were going to return to the refrain. They don't care about continuity.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes.
But with the comics, it's a clean cut.
It is.
The future was going to happen, and they fixed that from happening. But in true Marvel Comics fashion, it is the Earth 811.
Yeah, because there's a lot of... Okay. We do not have time. We're going to have to...
We don't have time.
We have credits. Maybe we can talk about time travel again and just talk about it in the context.
I think I have it. I might have it planned for later in the season.
We can't talk about it right now.
But the reason I bring... the whole thing for both movie and comic is about Mystique killing somebody.
Yes.
And the comic books, it's Kelly, which he's already... I guess he's alive. He can't be killed in the 70s because he was alive in 2000.
Yeah.
So it ends up being Bolivar Trask, the guy who created Sentinel. So in the comic books, he died in like issue 5 or whatever it was, 7 maybe. He died early on in the Silver Age. He gets killed in the movie. That creates the Sentinel program.
Yeah.
It's been going on in the background, I guess, during all these movies.
Yeah.
In the comic books, it's Kelly, but it is still Mystique. But it's not Mystique, it's Destiny is what it ends up being.
Yeah, it is Destiny. But it's
regardless.
Mystique is facilitating this.
This is Mystique's Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
It is.
This is their first one. This is where you get Pyro.
Yes.
And I believe Avalanche for the first time.
Yep. And
is this first Destiny?
Yes, this is also Destiny joining the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants as well.
So this is her Brotherhood.
It's a good introduction.
It is. It is solid. But then the rest of the story, I mean, they do the back and forth. Like they do future and past, present, past, present. So there is tension, just like this movie does too, which is so like there is a lot of similarities, oddly enough, between the comics and the movie.
Because I think outside of the people that they had to change, I think it's like relatively interesting, like how they tried to stick to it. It's the Wolverine problem.
Let's be honest. It's always it's not even the Wolverine problem. It's the Mystique problem.
It's the problem is
it's
that
the Jennifer Lawrence problem.
It's the Jennifer Lawrence problem, and this is absolutely. And let me be clear.
This is not Jennifer Lawrence's problem. Though.
Not at all. This is not her problem. This is a production problem.
She is too popular. Is the problem.
And production did not remain. They were too easily swayed by trying to just make as much money off of a very famous person that they cast before she was very famous, and they messed up this movie by doing it.
Because the Wolverine problem is he's in too many things, and that's nobody's gonna solve that.
Wolverine is in Days of Future Past. You can put him in this movie. That's fine. He's actually one of the main characters of this movie.
And the way they wrote it, like I get it. They wanted to go back to like the past. They started First Class and they wanted to continue that timeline. I understand completely. The only way you can logically do Days of Future Past is using Wolverine.
Yeah.
Like for the most part. And they did a good job of like describing like this will rip anyone's mind apart that we're going to do it. And he's like, well, I'm ripped up anyway and I'll heal from anything. So use me.
It like kind of works.
It works as well as a movie's going to that you're trying to shoehorn this story into.
Yeah.
The comic books, they stop her. The future's been saved.
Yeah.
Kate just like doesn't exist, quote unquote. In this timeline, she goes to the 811. Mm-hmm. You would think that'd be the end, but no. There's more comics.
It's a very popular comic, so they're gonna make more of them.
Oh, for sure.
So there's a lot actually, and we're not gonna talk about every single one of them.
No,
but we're gonna talk about I think the most important other one, and one that I think is fun. So
the next, I think what you're referring to is it Days of Future Present?
That is correct.
Which was made up of a bunch of annuals.
Yes.
And the reason why it's so interesting, and we're going to talk about it, is Rachel.
It's about Rachel. So like Rachel how does she show up in the X-Men comics after Days of Future Past? This is what I was thinking. It's like a time thing. Like she slips through time. She gets like lost in, if I remember this correctly, she gets like lost in time and somehow recovers. I'm trying to remember the specifics of this right now.
But she comes in early. This isn't Days of Future Present isn't her showing up in the timeline. She's been gallivanting about the 616.
She's already, when Days of Future Present happens, she's already been on a team with Cyclops, and they've had like all this tension where she doesn't want to tell him that, like, a secret. Yeah. And then Cyclops leaves X-Men and goes to X Factor or X-Force?
X-Factor.
I always get this wrong. X-Factor.
X-Factor. And then X-Force is the New Mutants.
Yes, that's Cable.
Yeah.
And then she goes to Excalibur.
Yes.
So she's already in Excalibur. She's already been rolled off the X-Men team, and now they're like, okay, we're going to explain what's going on with her and like through Days of Future Present.
She's important, and Days of Future Present is interesting because Franklin Richards is also important.
Yeah.
Which... Was he in Days of Future Past?
He was.
Okay.
He dies
I thought so.
to a Sentinel almost immediately.
Yes.
He does literally nothing. You barely see
This
him.
is adult, blonde Franklin Richards.
They've returned him back to blonde in the Fantastic Four comics right now, which listen, I have real beef, like true beef with Marvel editorial and like their weird possessiveness about Franklin Richards and not letting him be a mutant. It's pissing me off, actually. And honestly, this is like, I'll go on the record and be like, I think this is a bad decision. I think they're stupid and I hate them.
and it's not even the thing where it's like, because there are a lot of people who are mutants and just not on the X-Men or even related with the X-Men property. And that's fine.
I can't wait till there's a millennial in charge. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, go on.
There are characters that are mutants that just don't mess with mutants.
Absolutely.
Like, they're just messy and I don't want to deal with it.
With the X-Men.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, the X-Men are messy.
But the Fantastic Four works closely with the X-Men every once in a while.
They made the original suits.
Right.
Franklin Richards did.
So like... It's tough to be like, let Franklin be a mutant, yo.
This is the problem when you have like different departments that are in charge of different main book lines.
Especially nowadays.
Yeah. So like literally the reason that he's not a mutant anymore is because the Fantastic Four people got really mad at the X-Men people and they legitimately went to the editor above and like made and wrote the story out of him out. It's
I talked to Dad and he said, you can't play my toys anymore.
Literally. It's so embarrassing. Anyway. It's so embarrassing.
You guys should be embarrassed.
They should. Like, truly. It made me really mad.
So
anyway, going back to Days of Future Present.
Days of Future Present, it makes up... So it's weird. Once again, Marvel Unlimited has a nice little guide so you don't get lost.
Yes.
It is Fantastic Four Annual number 23, The New Mutants Annual number 6, X-Factor Annual number 5, and Uncanny X-Men Annual number 14. Luckily, they also say on the top of each cover what number of 4 it is.
It's really nice.
Thank you, because the timeline's a little weird in it too. Yeah. Like the how it's playing out. I got a little confused. I had to double check I was reading the right issue.
Yes, I did the same thing.
But it basically comes down to so Franklin Richards comes into the present of the 616, and he's a reality manipulator.
Yes.
He's sort of on the run from the A11 and wants to come home, but home isn't what it was. Yeah. So like the Baxter Building doesn't exist in this current timeline.
Yeah.
It's like the Four Freedoms Plaza.
Yes.
And he makes the Baxter Building appear like it was when he was a kid.
Yeah. And not only is he able to manipulate physical reality around him, he's also able to kind of manipulate people's perception of him, of things around him. So everybody thinks it's normal, and when the Fantastic Four return to the Four Freedoms Plaza where they find the Baxter Building, it sets up this whole chain of reaction where we're trying to figure out what's going on, at least from their perspective. And then we have a bunch of X-Men and X-Force and everybody coming in.
Also, if you do read this, I will warn you that Ben Grimm is a man and not the Thing, and there's a she Thing who also goes by Ms. Marvel.
It's confusing. I have no explanations.
It's just a fact. Yeah. I don't want to go into it any further than that. But if you see a Thing running around, it's not Ben Grimm.
Yeah.
It's a lady.
Yeah.
But it looks literally just like Ben Grimm with like a singlet.
Yes.
As opposed to just the underwear.
Yeah, I literally didn't even like. It took me a second to remember that was not Ben, because like it's still like a wrestler outfit.
Yeah.
So like I've seen
it just could be his new outfit.
Legitimately,
Yeah.
it's not very. The only reason you know is because they have like literally a character make a comment about it.
Yeah.
Because you just can't tell. It's so weird. Anyway.
It's so weird. I mean, if you're reading Fantastic Four, maybe it's not weird, but guess who's not reading Fantastic Four at this time? Both of us. It's one of those things, so it's like, oh, that does sound vaguely familiar. Yeah. But, I mean, he's trying to find Rachel.
Yeah.
Because the two of them were a couple in the 8-11. And so at this point, you would go back and go, oh, that was Rachel Summers.
Yes.
In Days of Future Past. Like, this isn't the point where that is told, but like...
We're getting there in this book.
But yeah, like she is Phoenix.
Yeah.
She has the Phoenix, and she also, I don't think this is where you find that out, but like you find out she was also a hound.
No, you do find out.
Is that this one?
In maybe not this specific issue, but in this run.
Right.
Yeah.
Like in this
4.
Yeah. You find out she would hunt mutants in Days of Future Past, and she has these like black lines on her face that denote she is a hound.
Yeah.
Sue Storm and Cyclops were both turned into hounds in this storyline.
Mm-hmm.
The factor of both Days of Future Past and Days of Future Present is like the legacy of it within the 616 is Rachel Summers. Like, she is the one that permeates through. She's like the leftover of Days of Future Past that actually like keeps running around.
Yeah, she is. Like, this, just like how Days of Future Past was about Kitty Pryde, Days of Future Present is about a little bit about Franklin Richards. Not a little bit. There's a lot of Franklin Richards, but also it's about Rachel, because this is where we get like these major bombs about like who she is, and like she reveals that her name is Rachel Summers. Yeah. Like, she reveals this to Cyclops and Jean Grey.
She is the child of Cyclops and Jean Grey, which even Cable isn't.
No, he's a child of Madeline.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, is she the only, like, even if it's an alternative...
No.
an alternative timeline child of the two of them?
I do not. I cannot confirm that 100%. I don't think that's true. I honestly really don't think that's true. There's just so much weird timelines and, like, random, like, one-offs. Yeah. Like... Who knows? Like, I definitely feel like there's another
I guess there's X-Man.
Yes.
Nate Gray is actually the two of theirs,
Gray,
right?
Yeah. I keep forgetting about Nate, because like, I always think about Cable.
Forgetting about Nate.
I do forget about it. I like Nate Summers too, but I do forget about him. Okay, I wanted to clarify that the Phoenix Force is what sent Rachel back through the timeline. But so I was right. She gets lost in the timeline, but it is the Phoenix.
That's what I would have probably guessed as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. And it sends her to follow the same like tunnel that she made for Kitty, which is how she ends up in 616 and not somewhere else.
Gotcha.
But that's the explanation. I just double checked.
I like it.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think that I really liked this one because it was just it made the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, like they've been Fantastic Four X-Men crossovers, but this one was like, it was so tied into like the summer family drama, which in a lot of times to me is very X-Men. Like that is usually that's the nonsense that it's the nonsense that Maria Hill complains about with X-Men. It's the summer stuff. It's it's the Cyclops, Jean Grey stuff. And it's all Phoenix stuff too. And now you add a reality warper with Franklin Richards.
Sure.
It's so messy and I love it. Also worth noting that in the storyline, Rachel doesn't like fully have her memories, and she's like getting them back.
Yes,
which is important.
Her memory is spotty.
Yeah, so like she doesn't remember everything, but she gets some of it back. Like, which is why like she doesn't really this run doesn't go super smoothly at first with Franklin.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. I mean, the whole thing will end with only child Franklin.
Yes,
like going forward, adult Rachel is just what's in 616 now.
Yeah, she's just been forever.
Since she showed up, she's been there. Yeah. So if you haven't heard of Rachel Summers, wild. Like, no, she doesn't get used. You know?
She ends up, that's the problem is she
Like,
ends up in Excalibur. She ends up in
sorry. I mean, she doesn't get used outside of comics.
Oh, yes.
You know? So, like, that's where people, if she's not in the cartoons or the movies or video games, like maybe Marvel Snap, I don't know. I don't play that. But, like, for the most part, she's not the person running around extra stuff.
Would you argue she's the most important character in X-Men that doesn't get any out of the comics? She might be.
I'd have to think about that.
Yeah, we'll think about it for maybe another episode.
I feel like there's somebody on the main team who doesn't get used. It's hard because now that X-Men 97 exists, we're getting a lot more attention on people who should be getting attention.
Yeah, it's true.
Like Forge.
Yeah, Forge. Actually,
Forge might be one of the more important.
But he was in the original 90s.
Was he?
Yeah, briefly.
Barely.
Oh
yeah, because like X
there.
Factor shows up.
And also he's in
there's like
the Storm.
Well, that's what I'm saying. X-Men 97 kind of changes that up a little bit more.
But do you want to hear about one more? I know we're running out of time.
No. Go ahead. I mean, this one's tough because this is is big and small at the same time.
There's more than these. There's a Wolverine Days of Future Past sub thing. There's so many things out there that you could read. But I want to just briefly talk about Years of Future Past, which is like basically a revisiting of the themes of Days of Future Past, and it once again recenters Kitty Pryde. It is not in 818. I looked this up. It's in
811.
811. Oof, why did I say 818? 811. In Years of Future Past, it is Earth 25158. So once we start getting into those really long numbers, these are like really off the...
That's not what we're doing. Yep.
No, but...
it's a Secret Wars one. So it's not the first Secret War, but the second Secret War, where it's Battle World, and they just slam a bunch of like alternate realities together.
Yeah.
And the Days of Future Past world is just one of them. But not that one.
No, I am not going to get into like the actual context of it, but I will get into the themes, which I think is really interesting. Yeah. And if you read Days of Future Past, there's a reference to the children of Kitty Pryde and Peter Colossus have been murdered, in that timeline. In 25158, they are alive.
Okay.
So it is the story about Chrissy, which is their daughter, and Cameron, who is their son, who is revealed later. Cameron is adopted by Logan, and when so in Days of Future Past, Logan is in Canada fighting as resistance against the U.S., where all this bad stuff is happening. In Years of Future Past, he takes their son to Canada, so he's raised by Logan as like his adopted father.
Okay.
And Chrissy is with Kitty and Colossus. And basically, the story is about, it's really similar in the setup. Like you said, like they kind of mush these two worlds together. But unfortunately, it's about like these two siblings that end up on opposite sides. And Chrissy's like on the good guy side, and Cameron ends up thinking that mutants are like the cause of all the problems and they should just be destroyed. And then they fight, and Cameron is killed by Chrissy. And it's like, I mean, it's Battle World, like you said, so like stuff is happening. But like it's a weird one.
Is it?
It's a weird one. And I think all of these are kind of weird. But
that's the problem with like sometimes the Secret War stuff. Yeah. Where they, like you said, like they're not using 811. It's this, but just slightly different. Yeah. It becomes what ifs.
It is. It is definitely a what if. It's like, oh, what if they failed or they didn't have that plan? Yeah. And the kids are still alive, which makes sense because like their behaviors, like when you read Days of Future Past, it is so depressing. Like that book is like starts off really sad and everybody's dead and all the characters have nothing to lose. The second that you start introducing like kids and like all their children are around or whatever, characters have a lot more to lose and it gets kind of like messy again. I don't love it. I don't love the end result of like the daughter has to kill the son and like just to solve the problem. Like I don't think it's as compelling as the first one, but I did think it was like interesting because it's like one of the runs that returns to like kind of centering Kitty Pryde. Okay. Because she's like protecting him at first when they're fighting against him, and then he ends up getting killed anyway. It's like I'm just like, oh, I think they were trying to say something about Kitty here. I don't really think I got it or it landed, but they did return to it. Right. So that's just like a weird one. But they're, like I said, the qualities of these kind of spin-offs of Days of Future Past vary.
Yeah.
That's definitely like one of the weirder ones where it's a mini series.
Yeah,
There's
that's
5
what
issues of that one. Like crazy.
Very.
Yeah. So
that's what you got going into this. So it's like they didn't have a ton to go off of. So like they're gonna flesh out this movie more than the 2 issues, or even they're obviously not gonna go into Days of Future Present because that would be wild.
I would loved it, but no.
Maybe that's what Doomsday's about. No.
God.
So anyway, going forward, there won't be a bunch of like comparison because like 2 issues of a comic need to be fleshed out to like 2 hours.
Yeah, it's going to be different.
So it's going to be way different going on. But those are your main points.
Absolutely.
But I think that's about it.
Okay. Well, I'm Sasha.
And I'm producer James.
And we'll see you for the next 10.